What's up, Smog Nation? Smog here. So I was reading something that I came across relatively interesting to me, man. So look, when the whole East Coast, West Coast thing was really popping off with Tupac and Biggie back in like 95, 96, Angie Martinez from Hot 97 flew down to Beverly Hills to Tupac's house and conducted an interview with him. He made her feel totally at home. However, she said that he was very kind, articulate, and she never felt like she was in any danger at all whatsoever. She even admitted that she smoked a few blunts with the dude, right? And it's the interview that if you have seen a lot of Tupac interviews, it's the interview where he's sitting on the brown couch and he's with one other female and he's got the black shirt on and he's basically talking about how he doesn't have problems with everybody in New York, how he just has certain problems with certain people, which is why he came out with an entire album before he died called One Nation. That kind of got shut down because it was an unfortunate death. Angie Martinez is claiming that it was Jay-Z that was really the one who was responsible keeping the footage intact. I mean, she had it digitalized, but the actual physical recording, she was working at Rock Nation at the time. Jay-Z went to the Rock Nation office and said, hey, look, man, you gotta get these in classic interviews and tapes. They're just laying around here just in case some kind of flood or a fire occurs. Here's the thing that bugs me. And no, it has nothing to do with Tupac was enemies with Jay-Z. And why should Jay-Z have any say on what happens with Tupac's material? Oh, that material should have been handed over to his estate. I think that if she would have been a little bit more vocal about that material, that Tupac's mom would have found some kind of way to snatch it up from her and to allocate it to the proper people instead of the journalist who filmed it. And yeah, you would think that the family member would benefit from it more, especially when you have only released 12 minutes of digitalized footage of the entire interview, and the actual interview is 2 hours long. What the hell is that, man? And her reasoning is she doesn't want to re-spark the war between the East and West. No war on the East or the West side is going to be restarted. When Pac died in 96 and Biggie died in 97, and it has been over 22 years since this has happened, man. So you're gonna have to come up with some kind of better excuse than I just don't want, to start any beef. I just, I want hip hop to stay on track, and we don't need that kind of negativity in the industry. And yeah, that's exactly what she's gonna try and say and justify every time someone asks her about it. But the reality is she wants to put it in some kind of time capsule so her grandkid, fourth generation grandkid, or great grandkid could highly benefit off of it, because it'll be worth a bunch of money, especially considering that, okay, an hour and 48 minutes of the footage hadn't been released yet, and the only people who had heard it is Angie Martinez and maybe like a handful of other people that she pre-selected to hear them. So look, Angie, I really have always kind of respected you as a radio station, female radio station hip hop jock and DJ or radio station DJ. You definitely paved the way for female hip hop radio DJs. However, this whole thing about not releasing the footage, you should just admit that you just want it to get more valuable instead of making up some BS like, oh, I don't want it to stir up controversy. I don't want, you know, I mean, come on, man. Like, what do you think? Tupac's gonna sit down and talk to you about some bodies that he caught, or talk to you about some bodies that his buddies caught, or talk to you about some kind of insane criminal activity that him and Suge Knight were partaking in, or, you know, talk to you about money laundering or anything that, you know, people telling, you know, that were death row oriented, you know, to get more lenient cases. Like, no, he's not going to talk about any of that, because he was rocking death row to the fullest until he died, man. So, look, that's all I gotta say about this. Angie, your excuse is looking a little weak, and you need to step it up. And honestly, what the fuck do you have to lose by releasing all of that footage? And, I mean, you can't sit there and deny that people aren't going to be interested in it, because, I mean, look at how much views Tupac gets, you know, whether it's on YouTube or any other platform. I mean, to this day. So, and I've been a diehard Tupac fan for longer than I could remember, man. So why don't you do the hip-hop community a favor, instead of, you know, burdening it a little bit and saying, oh, well, I'll let you know when I'm ready to release the footage. You know, it just seems like a little selfish. You know, after this many years, I think I can safely say that that interview belongs to the culture and not to you. King Smog sounding off. Like, comment, and you know you gotta shoot me one of those subs, homeboy.